Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone, and today we have the 10 very best decks in all of Marvel Snap for you. This is what I think the 10 best decks are after the OTA, and yup, Thanos Agamotto is gonna be on there. First, let's quickly go over the OTA for anyone who missed it. We have a longer video, like a 15-20 minute video yesterday that goes over all these in detail and has a deck for every changed card. Every changed card will not be in this video. So, first, Hela took a bunch of nerfs. Hela herself goes down to a 6/6. Swordmaster and Hellcow both go down to 6 power, losing 1, and Black Cat loses 4 power, becoming a 2/6. This ends up fundamentally changing Hela by taking 9 power off the standard build. Early impressions are that the deck is still okay. This is still a solid deck. I don't believe it's still a tier 1 deck. If it can lose 9 power and still be a tier 1 deck, we have bigger problems. But for the time being, some people are saying this is still really good. I think it's solid. I think it's now really solid. It's an okay list. One you can play, one you can climb with, but one that is no longer going to be the scourge of the meta. I reserve the right to be wrong. Stay tuned. If I am, I'll let you know. There is a Cerebro 6 Hela floating around. I'm going to just tell you I keep beating that, and I don't believe in that list. Next up, we have Doom 2099, and his Doombot has become a 0 power card. This is a huge, huge nerf that is like a -6 since when the card came out, or -8 if you ended up playing it on turn 3, which is a huge change. I do think the card is mostly dead, at least outside of Arishem right now, with the major caveat that there is a big ongoing month coming in the What If month next month. Like, there's just half the cards of the month are all ongoing cards, and once all those ongoing cards come out, I assume Doombot 2099 will be right back to the top of the meta. Next up, we have Sam Wilson Shield. Sam Wilson Shield goes from a 1/1 to an 0/1. That does two things. First, I think it sort of puts a nail in the coffin of Scar decks. The decks are just really, really, really weakened right now. I think they're probably like fine. They're probably about as good as Hela, a solid like tier 2 to tier 3 deck. That's not the kind of thing we talk about in top 10 decks. The other thing that's really hit hard is Zoo. No one's talking about it. Everyone's focused on the Cull, but Zoo was really happy to run like 2/1 drops and then use Shauna and Squirrel Girl and K Bishop for its other ones, because the shield meant you can get away with that because you already had it on the board, which meant that your Marvel Boy was significantly better. Your Khazar always had plenty of hits. Losing those two things and the extra Mockingbird hit, because now you don't even run Sam in the deck, are all huge and really put Zoo down. Zoo was suddenly one of the top win rate decks, and I think this is going to really take it down a fairly serious notch. The other decks, the strict ongoing decks, I think are still very good. The decks that are using the shield with Agamotto, I think are very good. The Scream decks that use the shield, I think are still very good. But the decks that cared about it being a 1, Kazoo and Cull Surtur, are now gone. We have some buffs after that one page of nerfs. First, Loki becomes a 1/2, and oh my gosh, Loki is now absolutely incredible again. Turns out being a 1 really, 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 really changes the Loki math. Really helping Loki, a card that's often going to go with Loki from now on, is Thanos. Thanos becomes a 6/12. Plus 2 power is major here. That can make it a 22 power card, which is humongous. But also, just being a 12 puts it on par with Magneto and the other biggest cards of the game as on a regular turn 6 play. While the Space Stone becomes a 1/2, which is also just very, very nice. 1/2 is nothing to sneeze at as that free stone. It makes it one that you always destroy to when you destroy it a little less often. Wolverine becomes a 2/3. This will matter in around May when we get some more destroy cards. For now, it's nice for the destroy bros. It ends up being an extra like 3-ish, maybe 4-ish power a game, because if you Venom Wolverine, that's an extra power for Venom. It's also an extra power on Null if you kill Wolverine each time you kill him. And then obviously he starts with one more, so it's not bad. It's just that's probably not enough to put destroy over the top. Finally, we have Bruce Banner, and Bruce Banner gets a major change, and I'm seeing a lot of High Evolutionary that seems to be doing well, but we're not even like close to what I think the right build is. So we're gonna have to see. It's entirely possible that Bruce Banner has brought back High Evolutionary, as he is now a 33% chance to Hulk out, and he keeps any buffs from cards like Misty Knight or Locations or anything else when he hulks out. So all these are very powerful. He is right now, however, hittable by Shadow King. We don't know if that's meant or a bug. We will find out as soon as possible and update you as soon as we know. Our first deck of the top 10 is what I think the meta is right now. This is the you must be this tall to ride deck. This is the deck that we are going to be seeing all over the place right now. This is Roram's LokiMotto. This is built off Derek's list. Derek has Kate Bishop in that Ms. Marvel spot, but Ms. Marvel is 15 power, right? When she's turned on. And it's not hard to turn her on with this list. But even more than that, with images of Icon, Ms. Marvel can be like 45 power. And I don't know. That seems like an awful lot and probably worth experimenting with, right? So this card deck has been incredible. I played this on stream last night. You'd have to go check on Twitch if you want to see it, but this list is amazing. Having the third 4-drop that just puts out crazy power along with Galactic Windpool is another level for this deck. Plus you have Loki silliness, you have the draw, you have all the different things Agamotto spells can do and Iron Patriot can do, and Copycat surprise cubes. Chef's freaking kiss for this list. Now, before we go forward, I need you all to do me a favor. Roram is an amazing content creator. He's often in the top 20 to 100 of the Infinite Leaderboard, and he's just an incredibly nice person. If you can, go check out Roram on Twitch. If you're a loyal viewer, you check out all the different stuff we show you. Make sure you give Roram a follow. This deck only really needs Galacta and Gwenpool. You do need both, though, because you need like one card to have power. If you don't have Gwenpool but have Ms. Marvel, I think it might be worth trying here. Enchantress would be the replacement here. You could also obviously run Kate Bishop. Loki and Eitri are incredible, but Zebu and Nico are fine. You're already, unfortunately, running Quinjet, so you're stuck there. Iron Patriot and Sam can be Mirage and Kate Bishop here. Again, you're going to need one of the two, and I know Kate's another high series guard, but say Levy. Copycat, Rocket Groot can be Juggernaut, Negasonic, and Gladiator. You want your general good threes there. I'd also like some more to note for the love of God by the season pass cards. Loki is a former season pass card. Iron Patriot's a season pass. Sam Wilson's a season pass. Ms. Marvel's a season pass. Galacta's a season pass. Gwenpool's a season pass. Agamotto's a season pass. That's 7 season pass cards. And if you're running Kate Bishop, it's 8 season pass cards in one deck, along with Eitri, who we should have gotten for free if we grinded whatever stupid mode he came in. Now all of a sudden he's meta and going to be in multiple decks. But yeah, season pass cards are the most important buy in Marvel Snap. Turn by turn. So again, this is Roram's version of the main deck that Derek is number 1 with. The other deck Derek is number 1 with, it was in yesterday's video. There's also a third Derek list that we're going to look at later. Turn 1, Loki if a great hand. If not, Eitri or Quinjet. Eitri is perfectly fine here. Quinjet is perfectly fine here. If you already have a bunch of your Arcana, then you play Quinjet. And if you don't have Arcana and want to find them, you play Eitri first. Loki is, again, perfectly fine here. Don't stress it. You can also, fairly often, I will play the go get Agamotto spell first if I don't have Agamotto, because getting that with a draw is obviously better than getting that with not a draw. It saves you an extra draw in the game. Turn 2 is Iron Patriot over a 1-drop, which is more or less equal to Sam. And a green, so yellow is just the turn by turn. A green target here is going to indicate to you that this is a potential snap condition. Iron Patriot is often a high infinite snap, and if you want to get a better player, it's better to start thinking about it this way. If you can win an Iron Patriot lane and you snap that, your opponent should very often run unless they have the absolute nut. So you should very often be snapping that. You're going to get free wins and free cubes, almost no matter what you get. Because what your opponent should be being told by that is you have a powerful thing, and they have to figure out how to deal with it. Sam is a fine play on 1, as a 2/7 often is, 2/8 technically, because the shield is there if you get him out on 2. A 1-drop is sometimes better than Sam, but you'll have to look at the board to figure that out. If you have Prio on turn 3, Rocket and Groot is great, especially when in Iron Patriot lane. You can also use a 2/1. You can Copycat. If you have 2 important 4s, you can go with the Ball Sack spell just fine on turn 3. You can also use the Watum in order to win Iron Patriot. Turn 4. Generally speaking, we're looking to Galacta, and Galacta is a snap condition. Galacta is an absolute ton of power. You can play Gwenpool. You can play Gwenpool or Ms. Marvel just fine. Ms. Marvel is often a card I'm trying to save because people don't expect it yet, and it's a way to steal extra cubes. If you have images, you can in hand you can play the Balthak spell now. If you don't have images, you might want to save the Balthak spell for turn 5, and you can play that with a 2-drop that you buff with Galacta. Turn 5, Balthak or Icon are very often snap conditions. If they're going to give you something powerful enough, you'll know. And that's better than Agamotto or a 4-drop. Agamotto on 4 is often Agamotto on 5 is often just like a Shang target. Shang-Chi is still all over the meta. Be forewarned, if you're going to play Agamotto on 5, you need to plan to get Shang-Chi'd. Plan to get Shang-Chi in that location, assuming your opponent's playing a deck that could reasonably run Shang, and then figure out how to win around that, or don't play the damn Agamotto. Turn 6 is generally a 4. Shang or Surprise Ms. Marvel. If you can get either of those off, you're usually snapping. That's better than Agamotto, or you can do Icon and a cheap card. If you can play Icon at this point, let's say you went Balthak the previous turn, you can now play Icon getting multiple Galactas, right? And then play another card after that because you will have 10 energy, right? So you will still have 6 more energy getting another giant card, usually enough to win the game. This list is a beaut that you need to try. Again, this is the Season Pass special. Royam's LokiMotto is the meta deck. We're going to have some other great decks that can really give it a run for its money, but this is where to start with if you're looking at the Marvel Snap meta. Before we get to the next deck, I'm going to use that sub button if you are so inclined, if you are willing at all. We are doing our very best to hit 25,000 subs in 2025, and in return, we give you the best and most comprehensive Marvel Snap content. We get exclusive decks from the top of the meta. Tomorrow morning, we'll have a huge bundle guide. Sunday, we've got a Twitch stream that's going to have crazy giveaways on the Twitch front page. We do more Marvel Snap content than anyone. We've done 10 videos this week, 10 full-length videos that break down top decks, that go over the OTA, that give you all the top of the Infinite Leaderboard decks. Hit that sub button and help support us, and we will do our best to help support you too. This is the Hela Killer. Sorry about saying Heller, I got distracted. Cougar is around rank 4 playing this Mr. Negative list. Mobius has come back to the meta a little bit. Just a little bit in Thanos lists since the OTA. It's very soon after the OTA. If Mobius comes back a lot, you can stop playing this. But until then, this is one of the strongest decks in Marvel Snap. I did talk about this deck yesterday as a main deck of the video, so we're going to roll through this one a little bit more quickly than we otherwise would, because again, this rank 4 deck that lost a major predator over the OTA, just taking like Cosmo and stuff out of the meta, as we should be seeing less Surtur and so on, a little less ongoing because of the Sam nerf, et cetera, et cetera. So this list should have gotten significantly better, and it's already one of the best lists in the game. I think there's a real argument that this is the best and is getting close to needing a nerf. So Cougar created this. Cougar is often top 10 on the Infinite Leaderboard. He has been multiple times, and he's currently number 4 with this. You do need Gore and Ravonna for this list. Sage and Cassandra Nova can be Killmonger, Psylocke, Rogue, cards like that. All right. If you want a different version, BBAK was number 3 on the Infinite Leaderboard last season with this list. This is the BBAK version of Negative. This is what is generally speaking considered the standard list. Sometimes this list runs Cassandra Nova for Ironheart, and sometimes it runs Wong for Super Skrull or Shang for Super Skrull. Outside of that, the list is fundamentally solved if you're interested in an alternate version. Your turn by turn, and we're back to the Cougar list for the turn by turn. People get confused about that sometimes, so I want to be clear. Our turn by turn is turn 1 you pass because you don't have it. Turn 2 Ravonna because we don't have Psylocke, so just Ravonna. Ravonna is a snap condition. Very simply, if you play Ravonna, you should probably snap because you're signaling to your opponent you have negative and they should run. Turn 3 negative. Negative is the strongest card on turn 3 in the game. Over Ravonna, over Cassandra, over Magic. Nice and simple. Getting Ravonna out is important. Turn 4 negative again is still a snap. It's one of the strongest cards on 4 in the game. You can play Iron Man at this point, or you can drop a 3. Turn 5 is your last chance to Magic. Please, for the love of God, play Magic if you can, unless you're pretty damn sure your opponent has a counter. For example, if they have already played Snowguard or they're running a deck that runs Legion. You can also feel free to run Jane Foster, drop Jane Foster if you've played negative here, and then just go off. Gore is fine if you played Ravonna, Iron Man, or Null are also fine plays. Turn 6 or turn 7, depending if you played Magic, is your combo off. You can Mystique on Gore, Iron Man, or Null, and then Zola any of those. Zola on Null will double your Null copies power. If you shunged something along the way, that's obviously just insane power nulls, or there's a location that helps. You can Sage somewhere for an 0-3, and yeah, you just sort of go off and you win. It's negative. There's like a bajillion end game. Oh my god, this is over combos. Pick one. Win. Negative is insane. Hey, again, tomorrow, twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. I'll also likely be streaming here on YouTube and on Twitch. At some point today, I'm not sure when, I got to figure out what my plans are with my wife, probably around 3:30 p.m. Eastern, but Sunday is the Twitch front page stream with which we will be showing you we've got hundreds and hundreds. I think we've got like almost $400 in giveaways. If you're interested, make sure you check it out. It's going to be humongous. Next up, we've got Sizer's Thanos, 76% in 30 games. And then I went 6-4 with this on stream earlier tonight. This feels like the list. This is also the Mobius list. This has an answer to everything. It's incredibly cool and incredibly strong. I know this is saying Loki's still a 2. Loki is now a 1-2. Thanos is a 6-12. This deck is even better than it looks. And it is so strong. Oh, this is not crazy. We were going to show you the crazy one, and then Sizer sent me this one, which is proven in the new meta. So Sizer is Sizer2654 on Twitch. Sizer has been the #1 player on the Infinite Leaderboard like a million times, and he is currently rank 2, most recently playing this list. This deck needs Thanos, Mockingbird, and Goliath, and if you don't have some of those cards, well, here's the alternate crazy version. I think you really only need Thanos, Mockingbird, and Goliath. I think you can otherwise mix and match with sort of any good cards. You do want an extra energy cheat card, so that's going to be Wiccan, Hope Summers, Phastos, or Luna Snow. So you do want at least one energy cheat card. You do want at least some tech cards, and then you just pick the sort of best cards along the cost curve. As long as you have Goliath and Mockingbird, you should be totally fine. Agamotto is in the best versions of this, and I think now Loki is in the best versions of this, because if you play Loki and you have stones in hand, you get to draw their cards for cheaper. And if you draw extra cheap cards, you usually win the damn game. Pretty simple, right? All right. Again, just palette cleanse. Back to the Sizer version. We all good? Say hi, Sizer version. Cool. So it was in that was the crazy thing. Sizer is rank 2. So turn 1, Mind Stone over Loki. Turn 2, you want Gorgon, which is better than Iron Patriot, which is better than Draw. Obviously, look at the deck. Gorgon can be a snap condition against opposing Thanos. Gorgon can be a snap condition against opposing Arishem. It's a bit more 50-50 against decks that are running, just running. I lost the name of this card. Agamotto. But otherwise, you should be good. Gorgon can be the first play you make there, obviously pending what's in the opponent's deck. Iron Patriot, snap condition we talked about in the first deck, and then you can just draw fine here. Mind Stone can be a snap. Mind Stone used to just be like an immediate snap on Thanos. It doesn't feel that way anymore to me, but it's here in respect to the old Lambie versions that it was, and I think it's still worth at least considering as an option for a snap condition. Turn 3, you want Luna Snow, Mobius, or a 2+1. It's going to depend what your hands look like. If you've got expensive stuff, if you played a Time Stone, Luna's amazing. Mobius, if you see your opponent is playing things that might wreck, obviously incredibly strong. Or if your opponent played a Gorgon, your Mobius is insane. Or you can drop a 2+1. Let's say you just don't have expensive stuff. Now you can play your Gorgon or Iron Patriot and drop ones. Turn 4, Galacta. Galacta remains almost always at least a potential snap condition. It's one of the strongest cards in the game. It makes everything you do significantly more powerful. 412 is a lot, but it's 412 that makes unpredictable power all over the place. You can also feel free to drop Mockingbird. You want to get Mockingbird as cheap as possible, or make earlier plays. Turn 5 is Thanos, and Thanos is a much better play if you've played, obviously, Time and Soulstone. Soulstone says Thanos cannot be destroyed. Remember how we talked earlier about how if you play Agamotto on 5, you should expect to be shanked? Well, that's why you're playing Soulstone with Thanos. You should be able to get one of those cards out on turn 5. You can also just play like a combination of cheaper stuff. And then turn 6 is generally speaking Goliath or Shang Plus, or some combination of those with Mockingbird. And then Chef's Kiss, enjoy your free wins. You should have a million points all over the board in completely unpredictable ways, while also using cards like Mobius, Red Guardian, Gorgon, and Shang-Chi and Goliath to really make your opponent's lives difficult. Hey, we're giving away a season pass on this video. This is Agamotto. If you would like a free Agamotto, all you have to do is sub, like, and leave a comment. I will announce in Sunday's video someone who won an Agamotto season pass. All you have to do is sub, like, and then I'll tell you what comment to leave later this video. Arishem 2099. So I'm not sure this is the right version. We're going to look at a Doom 2099 free version of Arishem, but because Doom 2099 can free because Arishem can free play Doom 2099 on 3, or choose not to when the matchup says not to, when the hand says not to, I think likely makes it a card we really want to consider in that list. And I think I'm going to personally, as much as I play Arishem, which is not a ton, start with this one to see if it still has legs. I'm going cheaper than usual for this Arishem list. This is my build. I'm going cheaper than usual. I want Loki and I want Quinjet, right? I want the cheaper cards for everything, because now I've got Iron Patriot, Valentina, and all the Arishem cards that are made cheaper. That's a ton. I've got Loki, which cards will be made cheaper with Quinjet. Iron Patriot and Valentina are just too good if I can play them straight into fours. Well, Valentina with Quinjet, I can play straight into that Valentina card, and Iron Patriot straight into a 4 is just too damn strong to ignore. I can just play freaking Iron Patriot. Even if I just go Iron Patriot into 2099, I feel like I'm relatively comfortable doing that. Mockingbird cheap. Doom spreads power. Legion steals games. Galactic gives extra power. Isan pulls a bunch of powerful crap in for free. And that's the theory of this one. You can find me on Twitch at PulseGlazer. Duh. This deck needs both Arishem and Galacta. I think Mockingbird can be She-Hulk. Isan can be Blob, Magneto, or Alioth. Legion can be Vision. Valentina, Iron Patriot, Loki, Cable, Adam Warlock, Eitri, Mobius, Rogue, and one of these cards can be a higher cost. I think I might be running one too many low costs. Doom can be Ares, Gwenpool, or Enchantress. Oh, I fucked around with this. I was trying to figure out how to make it look cool. Yeah. All right. Let me know how you like this. I don't like the way this looks, but I was screwing around with it with Nick the Greek Geek earlier, trying to figure out how to like combine the picture with the thing. I don't like it, but what do I know? Oh, this isn't even the same version. Ha ha. So much. This is another version. This is me trying to do a Doom free version. Cool. So this is the Doom 2099 free version, but it is going to have the turn by turn. Nope. Turn by turn still here. Good, good, good. So we're not going to look at the wrong version while we talk about the deck. Excuse me. Experimentation, y'all, behind the scenes. All right. So this is the list we're going to talk about, the Doom 2099 version. So turn one, you want Loki with a good hand over Quinjet. Loki with a good hand is insane with Arishem. Loki on one is part of why I think this deck is going to be back into the meta as a major force. Iron Patriot with a good follow-up is turn two. Remember the snap condition we've discussed with Iron Patriot. Valentina without a good follow-up is better than Iron Patriot with a good follow-up. Is better than Iron Patriot if you don't have a good card to follow with it. Valentina is damn near as good as Iron Patriot if you played Quinjet on one. Turn 3, 2099 or Galacta. Obviously, look at your hand, look what your opponent's played so far. Figure out which of those two is better for you. It could be either. Either way, you should probably snap. Turn 4, Legion is often a game steal. See what locations are there. See what you can do to really mess with opponents. If you can get double ongoing, for example, your opponent's not playing ongoing, you play Doom, Legion's a snap. You can turn off the game on turn 4, probably snap stuff like that. And then turn 4, Galactic and 2099 are less snappy, but they're still very good. Turn 5, Isan or Doom. And turn 6, Isan or Doom with Mockingbird. And you've probably won because you put out 10 million points in this manner. Very, very cool, very powerful list. We'll see if Doom 29 is right, but I do think Arishem is back between the release of Isan and the buff of Loki. Hey, this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Gunny is going to be hosting a King of the Hill tournament. This tournament will allow you to, the winner of this tournament is going to enter a big cash prize tournament. So if you're interested, please join our Discord. It's linked in the description to this video. Next up, we've got Sizer's Mover Cat. So this is the Sizer move list. I'm most recently 9-2 with this list. I've been absolutely destroying with it. I love it. I do not have Copycat in this spot. I just have Doctor Strange, but I think that this list is incredible. And before we go anywhere, before we look at anything else, I'm going to tell you the key to this deck. The key to this deck is Cloak on the right on turn 5. So you move sort of everything between the left and mid as much as possible early. And then turn 5, you play Cloak on the right. And from there, you determine what you want to move into that cloak lane, and then you either Alioth or Heimdall, and you should win. That's it. That's the trick to this list. Keep it in mind, and you're going to win a lot of cubes. The creator of this list is the great Sizer, Sizer2654, one of the best Marvel Snap players ever, probably the best ladder player ever. This deck needs Aranya and Madam Web. Copycat me, Doctor Strange. That's why I play it. If you don't have Alioth, Sizer says play Juggernaut. I don't know if this is better than Move Bounce. Move Bounce is the other deck Sizer's playing. He's got a 70% win rate since the with that too since the OTA. My working theory is that Shang-Chi and Shang-Chi, the Winds of Watum, a couple other cards make the bounce version a little more dangerous right now than the one running Cosmo and Alioth. If you're good enough with the bounce version and practice enough with the bounce version, this is still going to be one of the best decks in the game. But this one is harder to play than the other one. But consider them both on the list, and I just didn't want to take up 2 spots in the top 10. By the way, the top 10 is 11 lists because I've shared a certain list. So I'm not sure which is better, but I'm 9-2 with this one. So Aranya on turn one, Madam Web on turn two. That's a snap. Red Guardian might be back. If Red Guardian's back, it's no longer a snap. But as long as Red Guardian is still a little on the downturn, Web is a snap. You can also do a second move in Torch, like a Torch and Iron Fist, or a Torch after Aranya. Clearly, a Torch and Iron Fist, or Torch and Ghost Spider with triggering Aranya are worth it. You can also just drop a Fist here, so you can Vulture on turn three. Turn three, Vulture punched with Fist. You can also play Cosmo or Strange to move the card that you've buffed. If you played Madam Web, feel free to just drop a Vulture in Madam Web or any of your other move cards on Madam Web, or you can drop a Cosmo Madam Web, particularly if you somehow have Prio. Very useful. Turn four, you want to get a second mover and a one, or Doctor Strange, so you want to get a second mover and a move. Sometimes you're not even moving the second mover, you're just making a really big first mover as a threat. Sometimes you are using the second mover, you're going to have to get a little practice for that. Turn five is Cosmo and Cosmo, or slash Copycat and Cloak Right. So Cosmo, Copycat, another mover. Cosmo, something with Cloak Right. And then turn six, Heimdall or Eliath. Figure out what you're moving. Enjoy your cubes. I love this list. Again, the move bounce list has a higher upside. This one is more consistent into the meta. As people are deciding what to do, this one just feasts. This one, if you're still seeing people playing Hela, and some top players are promoting that Hela is still pretty good, again, I don't think so. This deck absolutely eats even the best Hela. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/snapjudgments. I only advertise it around once a week, but hey, this is once a week. So our Patreon has three main tiers. The $2 tier lets you participate in all our tournaments. We have hundreds of dollars in tournaments and prizes that are really great. $5 tier gets you early access to all the videos, and then the $10 tier gets extra videos, extra access to me, and all sorts of other goodies. So if you're interested, please check out our Patreon. It would mean the world. It's less than 3 cents a video for the whatchamacallit, for the $2 tier. All right, Derek's Pixie Wolf. I'm not sure if this is the right version because pre-OTA I was absolutely crushing with this. I watched Derek absolutely crush with this. This feels incredible. This is a little draw dependent. If you are able to get Pixie with either Iron Man or Gore in your deck, still in your deck, and play Werewolf, you're incredible. I have no idea how to fit it. I badly want Mystique in this list. I don't think it's actually fittable, but this list is really good, like very, very strong. Derek created this. Derek is number one. This is another list he played at number one, along with the Galactus we featured yesterday, which I don't think is top 10, and the version that we looked at from Rorm. This deck needs Gore and Black Swan. Pixie can be magic. Our friend .geo is working on a version that runs magic over Pixie. Nico can be Silver Sable or Hawkeye. Werewolf can be Mystique, and Agent Venom can be Toxin or Shadow King, and you'll be fine with those. Now, this version is probably better, straight up. Whatchamacallit. Browde has played this version. Derek has played this version. Apparently, it was a .geo creation. I think this version is probably better into the meta, where Thanos and Arishem are. Darkhawk has a lot of extra value. I covered this last week, so we're covering the new one. This one might be better. Cool? But either way, Werewolf Bounce belongs on this list to me. Turn one, you want Nico if Demon or draw two. You Bast if the cards are in hand. Particularly, we're looking at Hood and Gore, the negative cards. Turn two, Pixie if Iron Man Gore in the deck is a snap. Over US Agent, over Black Swan. Turn three, Werewolf over a 2-drop. Werewolf is incredible in this list. Werewolf on turn three is fairly often a snap because you should be able to look at locations and see how good he's going to be. Turn four, Swan plus Bounce. Amazing. Once you have Swan, you can now last turn play a bunch of free ones on either Gore or Iron Man and Chef's Kiss. Swan and Bounce. Turn five, Replays and Bounce. You can Beast if you didn't have Swan out to get rid of ones. You can just drop Iron Man. If you've got Swan and one of your Iron Man's like super cheap or anything, you can now play Werewolf in a couple ones, or Werewolf and bounce your ones with Falcon. Million little plays along those lines. Turn six, go off, free stuff and Gore Iron Man, and you just put out a ton of power. Good luck to your opponent stopping you. It's worth remembering a thing I realized after playing this list. Let's say you draw a 6-cost Rocket and Groot. If you trigger Black Swan, it's still free, right? Pretty cool. I really love this list. Again, right back here, the .geo version is also excellent. Don't hesitate to play this version if you're so inclined. The link to both is in the description to the video. Season pass question. What's the best deck I missed? There will be honorable mentions at the very end. I did less honorable mentions this time. literally partially because I wanted to give you more options to like think on your own and see if you think I missed anything. All right, next up we have Alliance Lowell's rank 2. He's not rank 2 anymore. He's like in the top 20 now. But this is fundamentally the Scream Agamotto deck. Agamotto is not like super necessary here. We in fact have a version without Agamotto, but Scream continues to put up numbers and be slept on. It's still one of the best decks. Agamotto is just annoying enough to Scream because of Images of Icon that it's no longer like completely freaking crazy, but it's still a very, very good deck with a very, very high win rate. It just wants Scream again. You can find Alliance Soul on Twitter at that name. This deck needs Scream. Cannibal and Agamotto can be Heimdall, Legion, Magneto, Arrow. Hydra Bob can be Nebula, Nightcrawler, Kingpin. Iron Patriot and Sam Wilson, Lizard, or one of the Rock and Root replacements, Red Guardian, Rogue, Luke, or Enchantress. This is the classic Scream. This one doesn't bother with Agamotto. Feel free to make Arrow be Magneto or whatever the hell else you're so inclined. I'm partial to running Juggernaut in this list too if you can figure out how to fit it. All right. Turn 1, Hydra Bob. Turn 2, Scream. Scream is a snap condition. I don't want to do the rant where I explain to you how Scream is one of the best deck cards in the game. Just trust me, Scream is worth snapping on. Sam over Iron Patriot over Craven. Turn 2, Polaris if you have Scream or Craven. Rocket if there's no big combo. Or you can drop another 2. Like if you played Craven or if you played Sam, now all of a sudden Craven makes a lot of sense to start scaling upwards. Turn 4, 3+1 if you moved a card and can play Miles, or you can play 2+2. Spidey is very good here, and this is your last real Iron Patriot turn if you want to get the bonus. Stegron is great here. Stegron and Polaris offer you a mini cloud condition that you should strongly, strongly consider. Turn 5, Stegron and Miles, or 3+2, or just drop a damn Agamotto. And turn 6, Agamotto or Cannonball, and then you should be able to win. That mini cloud condition with Cannonball is what really, really makes this sing. We've got Iron Patriot, Stegron, Cannonball, and then we've also got Winds of Watum for that. Chef's Kiss, awesome stuff. Play it, live it, love it. If you'd like to see some gameplay from these decks outside of me, check out the stream team, where tonight the great Pirate King Tucker will be playing a whole bunch of these lists at around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern. Next up, we've got Disco Till Midnight, while the Grandmaster is I don't know what that last word was. The Grandmaster is spinning. He's spinning. Sorry, stupid name. This discard list had started to crawl back to the top of the meta right before the OTA. I'm not sure, and no one's sure, so anyone who tells you they know for sure, if this version or the Kochia Bullseye version will be better right now. My gut says I still want to be going with this version as more disruption comes up and the other version is more vulnerable. However, caveat, um, this version could be taken out if Red Guardian sees a spike in gameplay. This deck can beat Red Guardian. You have to be practiced with it. I'm pretty good at beating Red Guardian with it, but it's hard and it takes time. It can beat Enchantress. Enchantress is like no real problem. You just play Morbius and Strong Guy in different lanes. But beating Red Guardian can be a challenge. Hitting that Dracula at the wrong time can lose you a lot of cubes. If that happens, the other version will be better. If not, this version's better. So, hey, this is the one I popularized. You can also check out Alex Kochia for the Bullseye one. Alex is amazing, super cool dude. This deck needs Swarm. Proxima can be Swarm. Grandmaster Malthus can be Moon Knight, Sif, Fenris Wolf. If you're running Fenris Wolf, run Moon Knight too. All right, so this is the Kochia Bullseye version. Totally different list, but still similar as a discard main list. Very, very strong, very consistent. One of the better lists around, but people seem to have forgotten it. I saw a bunch of people playing it tonight, so maybe it's coming back. Again, the previous list had one of the best win rates in a much more hostile meta, so we'll see. We shall see. So, more games, still top win rate, high infinite. Turn 1 Blade if it discards a discard card. Turn 2 Morbius over Blade if it discards a card, over Colleen if Scorn. Obviously, you can't Colleen if Blade and Scorn, or you don't want to Colleen if Blade and Scorn because it could hit the Blade. Turn 3 Strong Guy is better than Gambit if a good target and no Dracula Bodok in hand. Malekith if Scorn in hand is generally speaking the turn 4, unless you have like a Gambit Grandmaster that you think is important to do on turn 5. You can also play Dracula, who is very often a snap condition once you realize he's safe, as long as you have Apocalypse. Turn 5, Drac, or cheaper discards, Gambit Grandmaster, or you can drop Malekith here. Turn 6, your goal is to play MODOK and either Blade or Scorn. If you have Apocalypse and Dracula out, you want to make sure that you play Scorn. If you don't have Apocalypse, you want to make sure you keep Scorn in hand because you can end up with like an 8, 10, 12 power Dracula with just that Scorn. I love this list. This is one of my favorite lists. I know it seems cliche, but it's just really good. This is I'd like Destroy to be at this level too because I very much think this list is good and powerful. Hey, did you know I write articles on Marvel Snap Zone? Later today, there will be an article on Marvel Snap Zone by me going over these decks in writing. So if you're interested in the printed word, please check it out. Do check out our friends at Marvel Snap Zone. I like it there. All right, next up, we got Chamel's version of the Cook. The Cook is still doing great work until Mobius sees a lot more meta play. This one just puts out power. So people are doing lots of fancy and cute things to get power, and this deck just says, what if I drop Mobius and Mockingbird and then also Shang you in the face on the last turn? Does that win the game? Yes, yes it does. Dude, give this list a try. It's nutty. This is not actually Crime Afoot. Ooh, excuse me. This is Chamo, who you can find at Chamo92. Did I not write this one out? I feel like I did. Whatever. Crime Afoot has a version too. Check them both out. These are awesome human beings. Chamo does speak in Spanish, though, so if you're a Spanish speaker, please do go check out Chamo92 on Twitch. This deck needs Mockingbird, Sasquatch, Hope, and Gwenpool. Those four are non negotiable. Kate and Sam can be Mirage, Cable, Iron Patriot. Galactic can be Elsa. Jet has a version of this that he's been playing to a really high win rate, like a 60% win rate at high infinite. So this is the Jet version that runs Agamotto. Um, what's really notable here, and I'm going to be completely serious, is Jet throws Misery and Phoenix Force and everything. You don't have to do that. You can cut the hood for something else, make Phoenix Force and Misery something else, and be totally fine with this list. That's why I didn't bother to feature it, because I honestly don't think Hood, Misery, and Phoenix Force really add much here. Feel free to skip them and run just other powerful cards. You have Shang-Chi and Galacta like waiting for you in those 2 cost spots. Ghost was in this for a little while. If you're interested in giving Ghost a try, that was the Crime Afoot idea. Oh man, I told you I knew I was gonna mess one of these up. All right, Zabu over Kitty, Mysteria if Sasquatch, Sam over Kate if not. Turn 3, if you can play Gwen or Galacta, do it over Hope, over Elsa or Ghost. Turn 4, Gwen if Mysterio in hand is for the love of God snap over a bunch of 2s on Hope, or you can drop Galacta here. You really want to play Mysterio if possible on turn 5, turn 2 or turn 5, right? Turn 5 after being hit by Gwenpool. You play that with Ghost. You play as much of that on Hope as possible, and then you can go Sasquatch Mockingbird, Shang Enchantress, and then you win. So I'm gonna count this out for you. Let's say we get a nice cheap Shang Enchantress, right? So our Shang Enchantress costs 3. Turn 3 we play Hope. Turn 4 we play Gwenpool on Hope. So now we have 6 energy on turn 5, right? We play Mysterio for 2. We play a couple of Kate arrows, right? That's um 1, 2, 3. That's 4 energy, and that's 5 cards, right? So that's a 1 cost Mockingbird, a 1 cost Sasquatch, and Shang-Chi. And you still had like 2 or 3 extra energy to play things. That's kind of how you do it here. It's crazy strong. Time for a weekend review of Starbrand. I don't think he's that good. He's fine. I'm starting to like the Shuri Red Skull more than I thought I would. But yo, Shang is still a card. If Shang disappears, this might be decent. I don't know. I just haven't been really impressed by his Starbrand. I think he's both boring and not very good. I could easily see him being meta. We're gonna have to continue to check back on him. But as of right now, he's still a skip. Starbrand is Born was the top win rate deck when I last checked. There were not enough games after the OTA for me to know, but pre-OTA, the best win rate Starbrand decks were Surtur decks, and I don't think those exist because literally every single run of them ran Zabu, and the only other one drop at one ran for Call Obsidian was Sam Wilson. That doesn't work. The next highest win rate deck was this one that I made before Starbrand came out. Proud of myself. So yeah, check out this list. It's really strong. And I think it's going to be very good. I might at this point be replace. Okay, I would at this point be replacing Cosmo with armor, and I'm debating Vision for Taskmaster just because that's really good. But I hate Taskmaster as a 6 in this list, y'all. It just doesn't do shit for me. Me, Twitch.tv says Glazer. You need Starbrand and Iron Patriot for this list. The other Starbrand thing you do that's really cool here is Iron Patriot lanes are automatically 1. I changed Cosmo for armor. Why do I have? Oh my gosh. Late at night, what are you gonna do? All right. So you don't play anything on turn 1 for this list. Turn 2, you want Iron Patriot over Lizard. You will occasionally play Zero and Maw together. Sauron is your turn 3 play over literally absolutely everything, unless that Iron Patriot card is godly and you must Starbrand. You would very much like to play Sauron here. You can also drop armor on 2, sorry. Then Sauron is over Starbrand. You can also play 2+1 type things here. Turn 4, generally speaking, is Shuri. You can also feel free to play Typhoid Mary or Starbrand with a 1-drop after Sauron. If you played Shuri and you think your opponent has Shang, you want a Vision. If you think they don't have Shang, you want a Red Skull. The last turn of your game is often going to be Enchantress or just whatever extra powerful cards you have left, stuff like Lizard and Typhoid Mary. The Intel Architect is an excellent bundle if you don't own Sage. If you do own Sage, I think this is a skip. But if you don't own Sage and are in the market to spend money on the game, please do check it out. Also, we're giving away up to 3 of these. We're giving away guaranteed at least one of these on stream for the Sunday Twitch front page if you're interested. We might be giving away up to 3. Make sure you check it out. Did I not turn by turn this either? Oh my god, I'm dying here. We're going to turn by turn these off the dome. This is a Surfer list. I saw Cam playing this on stream actually after I made this slide. This is just the top win rate Surfer list. I think it puts up a lot of power. There's not a lot of Shadow King. There's not a lot of answer to it. This gives a lot of trouble to Arishem. This gives a lot of trouble to everything because it's just a ton of power. Surfer drops points. Cosmo lets you steal some games. Iron Patriot lets you steal some cubes. And it is otherwise great. Cam Best is who I'm crediting for this version because that's who I saw play it. This deck needs Galacta and Shaw. Hope can be Fastos or Luna. Copycat, Cassandra, Rock and Groot, Juggernaut, Gladiator, Negasonic, etc. I like Makari a lot as a replacement here if you happen to own Makari. Red Guardian can be Rogue or Mobius, and Iron Patriot and Sam can be not Brood and Okoye, Forge and Okoye. So turn 1 you pass. Turn 2, you would very much like to play Iron Patriot over Sam Wilson, assuming you have a way to follow up Iron Patriot. Iron Patriot is otherwise fine as a 5 play. The problem is you can't really usually afford to play Iron Patriot on 4 because you have Galacta. So turn Iron Patriot or Sam on turn 2. Turn 3, generally speaking, Hope is your priority. You would almost always like to Hope. Sometimes you'll play Cassandra Nova as well. If you must Red Guardian because there's a target that you have to hit, that's fine. And Copycat could change your plans. That's your turn 3. Turn 4 is Galacta, who is your snap condition. If you can play Galacta, you're snapping. If not, you just want to play the best 3 left on Hope. Turn 5, your goal is to play 2 3s. If you have Galacta, you'd like to get out either your Brood or your Shaw with that Galacta hit. You can also feel free to drop an Iron Patriot or Sam if you must play a 2. If not, you're playing whatever other 3. You end the game by playing with hopefully hit by Galacta, the other of Brood or Shaw, and Surfer, and then you should be able to win. You can win without Surfer or Galacta. It's almost impossible to win without both. The end. All right. Questions of the day. That was 10 decks. That was 11 decks, friends. Questions of the day is very simply going to be the honorable mention. So our first is the Fire Mill. This deck isn't out, but it's going to change the meta next week when it comes out. Fire Hair comes out, Mill becomes a meta deck. And I think we're just going to town. I think Fire Hair is going in Mill, and it's going to make Destroy Thanos both meta decks, and we need to start getting ready for that. So I just wanted to not leave you in the cold for that one. Darkhawk may belong here. It depends how popular Arishem gets. It's great against Thanos, but not like world beating against Thanos, because Thanos runs Shang-Chi. But against Arishem, it's like an auto win. So if Arishem becomes popular, Thanos is popular, and Hekamoto stays popular, Darkhawk is going to be amazing. This is our friend Blue Tears version. It's excellent. Next up, we have Ika Spaced Out. This list is still great. I think it just fell off just enough to not be in the top, but it still puts out a ton of points. This is still a climber if you're looking for something to gain some ranks with. Gotta love Anti-Venom Spectrum Iron Man. And then finally, Kazoo. I think Kazoo still might be really good, but it needs to be rebuilt a little bit because it loses the Sam Wilson, and thus it loses some power. But it might be so far ahead that we just might be sleeping on it still to this very day. That's it. It's 11 decks. Hopefully you enjoyed. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with on-air thanks. I'm going to say thank you to a bunch of people quickly. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Woohoo! I changed my order. I'm telling you, it's late at night, friends. We did the podcast before I did this, and I am tired. Thank you to Absolute Shannon, our patron of the month, Abigail Gleason, Mandatory Burnout, Irregardless, LAB, Inc. I am Frostman, Hota Navidete, Thinking Poker, Primed Ryan, Ryan Burke, and Ryan Wood, Character Lee, Corey Ray, Kazushi, and Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Perfos of the Goat Seeker, Hallowed, Nightmare, Only Fox and Synth, Fat Nick, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Brakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Biz, Black Sheep is 23, Express and Skippy G, our rhyming friends, Jessica Gamble, Slush Chat, The King of Bros, Bro, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kebsy Hoda, Luna, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Rob Silverman, Emma Holland, David G, Wingfield Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B, Mr. Craig Sterry, Matt B, Ren Wrench, Corwin, John Q, and Jim McHugh. We had Real Name Town, now we're in Q Town. Yes Stout, 8th, Sage, One Big Man, Milkman for Reals, Cactus Jack, BG, Quid Pro Joe, Snap to Scissors Joe, Models, Mod Supreme, The Green Goblin, Unibot, Flan 56, The Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrumix, Hoot, Ocularis, Matt H, DJ Mikey Hijinks, No Freaking Flex, Nick the Greek Geek, Zodrex, the King of Canada, Deadman Falcon, Falthor Newman, Jonesy, Two Ties, the Rip Letters, the Pirate King Tucker, and of course Gunny T, where the T stands for tired. I'll see y'all tomorrow for a bundle guide video and snap judgments, and then Sunday for another video and that front page stream. Don't miss out, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Peace out, everybody.